raise your hand if you are over the age of 24. Now, if you're watching this video right now, especially if this was suggested to you by YouTube, there's a really good chance that you're over the age of 24. At least that's what my YouTube analytics say. You're probably in the 25 to 34-year-old age group. However, if you do happen to be one of the lucky ones that's under the age of 25, please stick around to the end of this video because I do think some of the messages in today's video are also beneficial to you. Now back to you who are over the age of 24, I want to give you a really special congratulations. Because guess what? You're probably too late to start whatever it is you've wanted to start doing. Or at least that's what the narrative wants us to think. We see individuals like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Billie Eilish, Justin Bieber, you name it, all the professional athletes that are out there who hit success, who hit fame, who hit wealth before the age of 25. While I certainly don't want to diminish the effort and the hard work put in by these individuals who make it and are successful before they're even legally able to buy alcohol in the United States, I do want to point out the fact that a lot of times we live in a culture and we live in a society where young people or people who are young in their careers are often seen as those who have the biggest potential for success. You see, there's this unfortunate narrative in the world that once you hit the magic age of 25, you're kind of out of your prime. If you're an athlete, you're on the older end. If you're someone who's trying to get into some type of creative business, chances are there's someone who's younger, who's more in tune with the trends, who's able to get on the bandwagon quicker. You know, there's also that narrative too that once you hit the age of 25 and beyond, you're probably in a career. You may have a family, you might be a parent, you might, whatever. There's so much noise out there saying that once you hit a certain age that you might as well give up on your dreams because you're already set. You worked hard already to make it there. You've gone to school, you've graduated, and here you are. Life exists. After 25, it's pretty much all downhill. You're a quarter of a century years old. People think that when you hit 25 that your youth is gone. You know, you're not 16 anymore, your metabolism's not what it used to be. You don't have the energy, time is more limited. Whatever it might be, we are told that at a certain point, there is a less likelihood of us being truly, quote unquote, successful. There's a really annoying loud car out there. Before we go any further, I want to stop here and clarify three things. Number one, I'm going to use the word content in today's video, and in many ways it might sound like I'm using it negatively, but I want to be extremely clear in stating that just because I'm saying the word content and having negative implications behind it doesn't mean that you can't be content. In fact, I hope that you're content. I wish that I was more content with the things in my life in many instances, but I do want to draw a fine line between content and complacency because I do think there's a difference there. Content on one side is you are super happy with where you're at. Complacency is maybe you're not happy with where you're at, you're just complacent and you don't really care to work any harder and you're just okay accepting what your new norm might be. And if you're watching this video right now and complacency is something you think maybe you're struggling with, then I encourage you to think about some things to challenge yourself. Maybe look for new ways to create, look for new ways to get out and do something you've always wanted to do. But again, contentment and complacency, in my mind, do not equal the same thing. Number two, I'm going to use the word success a lot. I've already used the word success a lot, and I want to be very clear here that success is completely subjective. I don't think there's one right definition of what success is because we're all individuals. We're all individual humans. We have our own definition of success. We don't need to be tied to the narrative of success being extreme fame, wealth, money, whatever it might be. Success can be totally subjective to whatever it is that you want it to be. And finally, number three, I do believe there's data out there that supports the case that younger people are probably more likely to be successful. But I want to challenge the notion that it's because they have more time. At the end of the day, I think what it boils down to is that it's not that they have more time, but it's that they have more grit and determination because they have more to prove, or so we think, or so they might think. There's more to prove. They don't care what other people say about them. They're not jaded by these preconceived notions that if we're over the age of 25 or if we have kids or whatever it might be, if we're a CEO, if we're a VP, that we have to be a certain way, that we can't challenge our norm. And for the rest of the video, I'm going to use me starting a YouTube channel as my example but replace me starting a YouTube channel with you doing whatever it is you've always wanted to do. Me starting a YouTube channel can be synonymous to you pursuing that hobby of, I don't know, whatever art form you want to do, or learning how to code, or learning how to tap dance, or learning how to make the best pizza, whatever it might be. When you're listening to this video, put your desire where I talk about me starting a YouTube channel. That's kind of how I want you to envision the rest of this video. And lastly, the YouTube stuff, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'm really excited to have this channel started. It took me a long time to finally get to this point, but I'm really excited, really eager, and I can't wait to bring more content to the table, whether that's through self-development discussions like today, or whether it's through tech review or setup, whatever it might be, or vlogs. I'm just excited to be creating, so be sure to subscribe. Don't miss out. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe and the notify button, and all that other good YouTube stuff. You can find it here below or wherever it's at on the screen. So let's get started with the real message behind today's video. So back in 2017, I started a small woodworking business called Fallen Creek Woodworks, and I did so because I really needed a way to bring out some creativity that I had been itching for. I was in a job that I hated, and I wanted to have a way to make extra income. Naturally, as I progressed in my woodworking business, I needed a place to show my work. There's a book behind me that says "Show Your Work." Shout out Austin Kleon. But anyways, in that process of starting that Instagram account, I really found a niche. I really found an interest in creating content. And over time, that content grew my account. That content grew my community. And at one point, I had 15,000 some followers, which RIP Fallen Creek Woodworks, you're down to like 12 now because people unfollow you, evidently, when you don't post. But all that said, I started this account and I grew it. But I came to a stalemate. And that stalemate really was, I didn't want to start a YouTube channel, or I was too afraid to start a YouTube channel there. And at that time, obviously, the world of social media was totally different. TikTok was barely around at that point. Instagram was back when photos were cool on Instagram. Rest in peace, photos. And, at the end of the day, I was like, I don't have the video skills to do this. I don't have the time to create a YouTube channel. I have a son on the way, which our first son was born in 2018. But for whatever reason, I found many excuses to not start my YouTube channel. And now, fast forward several years from then into 2022, I turned 32 in February of last year, and I got back on the social media platform. I started posting tech content. It was something that I really enjoyed, and I realized just how much I missed having that creative outlet. So I started taking pictures and videos of my desk setup. It was something that interests me. I watched videos from John Imperial and Michael Soledad, all these individuals on YouTube who really loved their stuff. I was like, you know what? I'm at my desk all the time now. Why don't I start shooting some content? But again, I fell into the same trap of, I'm creating content here on Instagram. I'm growing an audience, I'm growing a community, but I know there's the elephant in the room over here that YouTube needs to be the next step. But I kept making excuses. But this time they were slightly different. This time it wasn't because I didn't feel able to create content and create decent video. I had built some of those skills, but at the end of the day, I just kept making excuses of, well, you know what, it's just too late. These individuals that I've watched, Peter McKinnon, Matty Hapoya, Matt Diavella, or in the setup space, Michael Soledad, John Imperial, they had all been posting for years at this point. So why start now? Why start at the age of 32? I was old, according to all success metrics. I was well past my prime. So why worry about it? Why not just post on Instagram occasionally and, do my thing, and then at the end of the day, just still not be content with the fact that there's something missing. But for whatever reason, I opted out and I continued to not make YouTube videos. Fast forward just a few months after I started my Instagram account for my setup space, I got burnt out because I ended up creating content I didn't love. I ended up creating content just to get free stuff. And at the end of the day, again, that elephant in the room was still behind me saying, start a YouTube channel. You're gonna have fun. You wanna talk about things like this. But I Of course, I avoided it and got tired and burnt out and walked away from a community that I really enjoyed. Thankfully, I've since turned around and come back, and I'm absolutely loving being back in that tech setup community. But at the time, it really sucked. And then moving forward a little bit further in this journey of leading back to me being here today and talking about starting a YouTube channel at the age of 32. And in fact, in a couple weeks, I'll be 33. And who knows, if you're watching this after the month of February 2023, I'm already 33. But I'm here and I started this YouTube channel, but I almost didn't because I thought it was too late. One, I thought it was too late because I was past my prime. I wasn't Mr. Beast starting this, in 2013 when, I don't know how old he was there. He's only 24 now, and so I guess that makes him early teen, whatever. I just thought it was too late. I didn't want to get started because of that. In addition to thinking it was too late, I also thought that I had to be perfect. I had to be like those people that I was watching. I had to have everything down pat. I had to nail the cinematics. I had to know how to color grade. I had to know how to edit better. I had to know X, Y, and Z. The list can go on and on and on. But at the end of the day, when I realized that it didn't have to be perfect, then I could take a breath. And then I could get excited about starting a YouTube channel. I could shed that perfection mindset that we all have. As creators, perfection is something we want to obtain. And at the end of the day, it's not a bad thing to be perfect. We want to be perfect because we want to do good quality work. We want people to see what we do and appreciate the value and the hard work that we put into it. But that same mindset can get us in trouble and keep us from doing things or keep us from taking way too long to do things. And finally, one day, it just clicked. I realized that instead of having a perfection mindset, I needed to have an improvement mindset. And when I could differentiate between those two, it really gave me this sense of freedom to just go and practice and do things. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of my posts as well about just going and practicing and having fun doing what we're doing. Because as creators, at the end of the day, if we're not having fun, why are we even doing what we're doing? Will I ever be a Peter McKinnon, a Maddie Hapoy, any of those guys that I absolutely love watching their content? Probably not. And if I do, then great. But if not, that's also great, because when I come to create, I'm coming to create to be an example, not just to me, but to be an example to my son, to my future son, to anybody else who's watching this. But I want to be an example of there can be a clear definition difference between perfection mindset and improvement mindset. And then at the end of the day, when I think about it too, I look at certain celebrities, for example, who by all means have succeeded, who have created a life for themselves that they can be proud of, who have hit that success goal. I look at some of them and I see not every one of them hit their goals when they were younger. They weren't successful when they were in their 20s. And in fact, a lot of them weren't even successful until they were in their 40s and 50s. I'm going to name a few real quick. I've got it pulled up on my screen over here, and I'm going to just read a couple over to you. We've got Bryan Cranston. Everybody's probably seen either Malcolm in the Middle or I honestly like Breaking Bad more, but we've seen either one of those two more than likely. Bryan Cranston didn't land his role in Malcolm in the Middle until he was 44 years old. Another one of my favorites, Steve Carell. We all know him. He's Gru from the Minions. He's Michael Scott from The Office. He's a funny 40-year-old virgin, whatever it might be that you know him best for. He didn't land the role in The Office until he was 43 years old. And of course, you can't forget Morgan Freeman. At the age of 52, this was in 1989. At the age of 52 is when he hit his first role. Guys, many of us who are in our 30s, we still have 20-some years to go. If you're in your 20s, you're even further out. So why think that it's too late? Why do we have to have this perfection mindset that's keeping us from moving forward? Do you think that if Morgan Freeman would have just stopped because, one, he thought he was too old, it was too late, or he didn't have the right mindset, or he couldn't improve anymore, would we have the most incredible voice to listen to? Because let's be real, who doesn't love hearing Morgan Freeman talk? And all these celebrities I've just mentioned probably have a lot of things in common, but one of the ones that I would argue is probably higher in that list that they all shared was that they didn't worry about being perfect. They just kept getting better and better and better. Maybe they didn't get those roles when they were in their 20s, but they kept showing up and they kept working on improving their craft. And at that point is when they hit their success, as they kept improving, as they kept working harder and harder to get to that level. Because if they would have had a perfection mindset, I would argue that they probably wouldn't be where they are today, because they probably would have stopped a lot longer, a lot further back, because they weren't hitting their mark or their goal. So don't be discouraged by perfection. Be encouraged by moving forward and improving yourself every day and just showing up and putting in the reps. There's a movie that I absolutely love. It's called The Santa Claus. If you've ever watched it, you probably know why I love it. It's arguably one of the best Christmas movies ever. But in that movie, Charlie, the little kid, this was 94, so he was around the same age, maybe a couple years older than me at the time. He said this quote, and he said to his dad, who didn't believe in Santa, he said, "Dad, you know what? Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing." And I bring that quote up because I think it also applies to the definition of success that a lot of us have created, or that the narrative has created for us. A lot of us think of success as something that has to be tangible. We have to make that first $1 million. We have to land our dream job. We have to have 100,000 subscribers, or we have to hit 10,000 followers on Instagram to get that brand deal, or whatever it might be. There's these magic KPIs that we have to hit and we have to tangibly grasp in order for us to deem ourselves successful. And because of that, if something is intangible, or if something seems intangible, we're just gonna give up on it. We're not gonna try it because, again, why try something if we can't hit our goal, right? Like, that's the mentality that we all tend to carry, especially those of us who are perfectionists. We like to hit our goals, and if we don't think that it's tangible enough to achieve, then why put ourselves through the hassle of going after something that's never going to come to fruition, right? But instead, I like the believing is seeing mentality because, again, remember, success is subjective. I don't think success always has to be something that's tangible. We don't always have to hold something in our hands to look at it and to say, all right, I finally made it. Success could be something that's felt within inside of us. Hey, I feel really good about this video that I just created. I feel like I succeeded there. I put something out into the world. That's success. So don't be defined by these magic KPIs that we all throw up out there to say who is successful, what's successful. Pave your own path, define your own version of success, and make it happen. And in that same vein, I want to leave you with one final message. Just do the damn thing. Whatever it might be, don't worry or think that it's too late or think you waited too long or think you're not good enough. Just do the damn thing. Pick up the camera, hit the record button, pick up a pencil, start writing, lace up your shoes, go for a run, whatever it might be, just do it. All right, I'm gonna pause right there. Sorry if I got a little Shia LaBeouf on you guys there. I got a little too excited. Sorry, I didn't want to do the just do it. Just do it. Do it. Yeah, I'm not doing that. But seriously, guys, just do whatever it is that you've always wanted to do, because I want to be the first to say, if you haven't heard it from anyone else, it's never too late to start. If you want to start a YouTube channel, just start the YouTube channel. If you want to go and learn how to code, just start learning to code. If you want to learn photography, go learn photography. Go do whatever it is that you've always wanted to do. And you know what? If there's someone out there that's better than you, good. You know why? Because if you have that improvement mindset instead of that perfection mindset, you're gonna work harder to improve. Maybe not to prove them wrong or to be better than them, but at the end of the day, if you want to go and do something, you're gonna do what it takes to make yourself better. If there's one thing that I hope you take away from this entire message, this entire video, it's that it's never too late. It's not too late for you to start whatever it is you've been thinking about trying. I just encourage you to go and define your own version of success. Define it, know your why, follow that passion, and see where it takes you. Maybe I'm gonna get 1,000 subscribers and monetize on this YouTube channel. Maybe I end up getting stuck at 100. Whatever it might be, I don't care, because at this point I'm having a lot of fun, and at least a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, I can look back and say, you know what, I gave it a shot. I tried it. It was something I wanted to do, and I did it. Whether or not this channel is successful based off of, whatever metrics are out there, at this point I don't care. Maybe one day I will, a little bit more, but at the end of the day, it's not supporting my family. It's not something that's gonna make me quit my job right now, but I'm just having fun, and that's what matters. So go and define your version of success. Go and have fun. Don't think that you're too late to get in the game, because you're not. There's so many people out there that could benefit from what you have to say and what you have to show them. So just get started. Peace. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. That was a lot of me talking at you, but if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully something stuck out to you. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please hit me up. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, all those good things. Let's start a conversation. I want to know what you want to see. Again, I'm not going to always do talking head videos like this. I want to get more into some tech content, some more tech creation, things like that. But I also really, truly value self-development and self-improvement. So this is very much going to be something that I do on this channel for now. And I'm really excited about that too. So again, if you're here and you made it through the whole video, thank you. If you watch this in segments, cool, whatever it might be, I just appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next video.